Mayor and Council, this is again the continuation of the business license we've been working on for 3 months. These ordinances are the result of all those public meetings that we've had. The first ordinance, 4973, is the business license, which is put together based on the criteria and the things that we have discussed, including a provision where 3 residential units or less pays 1 business license as opposed to 1 business license for each of those items. The ordinance 4977, change to Peddler Solicitor Code, deals with the changes in the special event, making those a taxable activity, removing the charitable requirement for a special event, but maintaining the other licensing requirements for our solicitors in town. The change to the fire safety ordinance 4978 is merely a wording change, changing the license that it refers to there from a transient transaction privilege tax license to the business license. Again, the state will be issuing our transaction privilege taxes licenses, so we need to change that to a business license so our fire department can go out and inspect those businesses. The change to the transaction privilege tax license was to lower the application fee from $25 to $5 to more closely emulate other cities that are licensed by the State Department of Revenue, and also would minimize, the impact of the business license component. Other questions that have come up in the last week, just to address really quickly, related to concern about what information was going to be available on the website related to businesses. Again, the intent was not to release the emergency contact names of businesses to the general public on the city's website, just to show that a particular address had a valid business license and what that business was. Again, a license for that business, if provided as part of the application, would be listed there as well, but the emergency contact and the contact numbers for those were not intended to be put out on the website. With that, and the resolution that's included in the packet is just to make these documents a public record. With that, I'd be glad to answer any questions.
Councilman Lozelle.
Thank you, Mayor. Mark, I don't have any questions. I just would like to make a statement. We've listened to this for the past 5 times. I think we've discussed it 5 times. Seems like the past 4, not me, you. All you're doing is just tweaking the ordinance, like it's already a done deal. Gravely disappointed. And we have registrar contractors, state board agencies, medical board, Department of Revenue, IRS, ATF, State Liquor Board, County Health, OSHA, Cosmetology Board, insurance boards, realtor boards, accountant, CPA boards, architect boards, corporation commissions. We got the Better Business Bureau, we have the Chamber of Commerce, we have Local First, Yelp, Angie's List. The list goes on and on and on. If somebody wants to know who's doing business in this town, it's right here on your phone. I just get so frustrated that this is why we're saying this. We're competing against existing businesses by picking winners and losers. Oh, you want to sell that? Come here. We don't have any of those. We only have 3. You can be right at home here. So as a government agency, we are picking winners and losers on this. It's supposed to be cost neutral, revenue neutral. I'm sorry, not cost neutral. But we picked $35. We don't know if that's neutral or not. It ain't going down, I can guarantee you. This is the first step for a business tax. You think this is just an innocuous help the public? It's coming down the pike, folks. That's the next one. That's what this is about. I just urge everybody to vote no. Thank you.
Councilwoman Wilcox.
Well, I'm in favor of the ordinance, in spite of what Councilman Lozelle just said. However, I think there's some devil in the details that we need to address, and one of those is in section 4-6-3 regarding the application. There have been several questions raised about what exactly are we going to ask for on what information are we going to ask for on the application. And some concerns have been expressed to me about the fact that these applications would be public documents, and some people don't want some certain types of information available to the public that might indicate an expensive inventory in their home, or particularly with home business, where there's a professional service, the clients, the neighborhood knowing who the clients are and why they're going to that home business. So I wonder, Mark, if you have an idea at this point what the application would look like and what information we really need.
Well, thank you, Councilwoman. This is a list we use during the workshops. Again, we're trying to keep the information very basic: the name of the business, the location of the business, contact information, emergency contact for our dispatch, start dates. We want a record of their transaction privilege tax license because we need to use that. If there's a presence of hazardous material, the ownership type of the business, and then, or the ownership of the business, and then the type of the business. Is it a restaurant? Is it a CPA firm? Is it a lawyer's office? Whatever.
So
I mean, we're trying to
general
keep it as not, we're not dealing with number of employees or gross income or any of those type of things, just as a listing of what businesses are operating.
Well, the biggest benefit I see to this business license is for public safety. It will tell our fire department whether or not there are hazardous materials stored on site. It will give them an idea of the nature of the business, so they know what to watch for, what to be on guard for if there is a fire or some kind of emergency call from that business location.
Any other questions, comments from the council?
Mayor, I'll just make a quick comment because I completely disagree with Councilman Lozelle. He and I have had some pretty good discussions on this, but I believe this will be good for Prescott. I think it'll be good for our businesses that are here. I've spoken to several business owners and worked with the downtown partnership. I believe if you can get your name on a list for $35 that you're doing business in Prescott, I think that's certainly beneficial. I've done business before, and I certainly wanted people to know I was doing business in the town. I was quite surprised when I found out that Prescott did not have a business license. I believe there are 4 communities in the state that don't have business licenses. I believe that this is something that will be good for our community. We'll have better data for our community. And so I completely support it. And I know that there'll be issues that we'll have to work through, Mark, and you're right, Greg, we've kind of been going over some of the issues over the last 5 times that we've addressed this. And I believe that we've made it better each time. And I think we will continue to do that because I do think that we need to listen, and we have listened to people. So I appreciate all the comments that have come forward. So I'm completely supportive of this ordinance. Thank you.
Councilman Chisholm?
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. Once again, I think it's a outstanding privilege to do business in the city of Prescott, and I would gladly pay $35 every year for that privilege.
And I think also, Mr. Paladin, and maybe I should be talking to Mark too, there's going to be a period of time, about 6 months or something, where we're going to develop all the process on how we're going to do this.
Exactly, Mayor. And I put the calendar back up. Obviously, we're here at May 3rd today. If council adopts this, we'll start the implementation process. We've already started steps to that in case council chooses to go forward. We'll come up with the system of how we'll do this, develop the website and the other things to allow people to easily register and do the transaction. We'll be looking for all these ordinance changes to go in effect January 1 of 2017. And we'll start business registration anticipated now in December and January for that new year. But it is a huge process to get this up and going, and it will take time, and we're going to try to get it done within this time, but honestly it's tight, but we'll make it work and hopefully have a system that's easy for people to use.
Okay, and as we move forward, are made aware of other nuances that we didn't think about. Maybe this is for Ms. Palladini. I think there's ways to go ahead and continue to improve the ordinance to meet those requirements, correct?
Absolutely, Mayor. The council can make amendments to a delayed effective date ordinance, which this is January 1, 2017, in between now and January 1, 2017, and certainly any time thereafter, just by another ordinance amending particular provisions of the code. So before it takes effect, council can make ordinance or amendment changes or changes to if it's approved, and then after it takes effect, it's the same process.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments, questions from the?
I have one other one, Mayor. About the public safety, a business that has hazardous material is required by law to put placards out to warn public safety what chemicals they're storing in there. Also, if this is to go after the sober living, so we know how many we've already have our an ordinance for them to register, and hardly any of them have. So I don't know what this is going to do with that.
Okay, any public comment? Come on down.
Mayor, Council, John Nielsen, 130 West Gurley Street. Can we show that sheet below that one, please? Because it doesn't just show a $35 fee. There's safety inspections, there's service business fees of $75, a $450 congregate residence fee. I mean, it's just not $35. I see a service business, $35, $40, and $75. So the total fee is $75, not $35. So again, I'm kind of in agreement with Councilman Lozelle that, yeah, $35 doesn't sound like a lot, but it's just not $35. It's more. Yes, absolutely right. And this was part of the slides that we used at several of our presentations, just to make it clear. You know, the business license is the $35, but there is safety inspections. The fire department are going out and doing inspections. You know, all those costs are being eaten right now by the general fund. On the congregate living, the $450 is actually not adopted yet. It was proposed and will be discussed at the council's next excuse me, voting session. But it would be whatever council adopts at that voting session. The 40 does exist now. It is done now with transaction privilege tax licenses. And that will also be, it will not be on home-based businesses where there is no customers at the locations. It will not be on out-of-city vendors or out-of-city businesses that are just doing business within the city, those type of things, only when there's a physical area that is needed of inspection.
Okay.
Mark, can you clarify, because I think there's been some misunderstanding on this, and that some people have felt that this was possibly because of the level of service that people might be receiving from fire or emergency. This is about inspection. This is about public safety.
Absolutely. It is just about inspections. You know, the congregate living residents, and we'll discuss this
Making
in
sure
2
that people
weeks.
are in code.
Right, there's a lot of inspections that need to be done each year out there, and that's how they came up with their amount. And again, we'll be discussing that in 2 weeks.
Thank you.
Any other public comment?
Hi, Kendall Jaspers, Prescott Downtown Partnership. Have a couple of questions mostly. And one is that fee schedule, is that what you're voting on now? Or is it just this, so if the council votes aye, these are the fee schedules that are going to be in place, is that correct?
Well, the business license fee, if the council adopts this, the business license fee will be part of the adoption. The $40 inspection fee, remember, the fire department does biannual inspections at a cost of about $80 per inspection. So the concept was that the business pays $40 a year, and then in 2 years, it essentially collects the money it costs to do that 2 hours of inspection, if I'm right. Is the chief awake over there? But I think that was my recollection of the meeting. So it's it costs about $80 to do the inspection. That cost is then split over, and it's done every other year. It's done in, you know, So the charge is $40 a year to recover that cost for that biannual inspection. That fee's already in place, so the $35 is what gets adopted today, as well as the peddler solicitor fees. If that's approved, those will change. And then the transaction privilege license fee gets reduced from 25 to 5 across the board. And that's why there are 4 or 5 ordinances, because of all those different changes.
Okay,
And-
so this-
And as I understand this, we had a consent item that moved the other fees to our May 17th meeting, and that was passed on the consent agenda. So Kendall, I guess what I'm saying, the ones, the 450, those go to May 17th discussion.
all right, thank you, that's fine.
Any other comments?
Evening, Mr. Mayor, council members, Dave Mauer, CEO of Prescott Chamber of Commerce. No system is perfect. Certainly no new system is going to be perfect. We realize that. Our board has supported the business license for a number of weeks now, recognizing with a caveat that there are going to be instances that none of us thought of before the fee was imposed. But it's a living, breathing document if passed, and we support the need for it. We have 865 businesses that are members of our chamber. The question I get most often from my other chamber executives is 865 of what? How many others are there, other potential members in the community? We don't know, we have to say that. More importantly, economic development opportunities we hear of, the city hears of. It's a common question. How many businesses are in your city? What types of businesses are in your city? We don't know the answers to those questions. It's not readily available. Yes, there are groups and organizations, Councilman Mazzell rattled off a long list of many of them, but also many of them have their own members, but not the full number of members. So we support the need for it. $35 is minimal. We hope you consider supporting this today. Thank you.
Councilman Blair?
I asked a question last time, and I haven't heard it asked today. Because you just brought it up, Mr. Mauer, about an economic tool. Mark, are we going to be the clearinghouse for business to have all these different businesses listed on the website by business orientation, lawyers, and a list of all the lawyers, doctors, and a list of all the doctors? How is the city going to proceed with making this an economic tool?
I think the economic tool that is referred to here, Councilman, is more the use by economic development of the data that they're going to have. It's not the city of Prescott turning into a yellow pages for the businesses within the city, although you will be able to verify the businesses are licensed and meet the requirements. That's the intent of the website. If council wants to take it further and allow you to search all attorneys or something like that, we can sure look at that over the implementation period.
Any other further public comment?
Mayor, Council, Dwayne Vanis, 129 Robinson Drive. This time last week, I had no problem with this. I'm a land surveyor by trade. There's land everywhere, and I generally go everywhere. I've had a business license in Chino and Prescott Valley. They started out about $15 when they first came out, and have gone up and up. The problem I have with it is, and I would have rather have put this in writing than have to come up here, but I didn't have this in time to put it in writing. But I see it as nothing but punitive. As far as a registry goes, I'm registered with the State Board of Technical Registration. I do believe there's about 25 employees in the not quite sure what the budget is anymore, but we're talking into the millions. And they do have a nice, you push of a button, you can find out I'm licensed, and I not only have a license, I have a firm card that says I can use my license. That's $50 a year. The problem I have though with the, is section 465, the very first sentence says, a business license issued under this chapter may be canceled or revoked at any time. Well, I do maybe 10% of, in fact, I went back into the records, started in 1990, because 1990 was the first year that the city got into my business with land splits. I've never had a problem with that, but land splits were just taken away with the last vote, and so we're down to about 5% of my business now, probably. And for the want of $45 or $35, I can't work anywhere. I can't leave and go work anywhere else because I don't have a license in the city of Prescott. And I don't know if I care for that. When Chino Valley became difficult to work with in the administration, I decided I wasn't going to go to Chino, and so I don't have a license. I can't do that here. And if an employee or me, if I do something with, if I'm a violation of the Land Development Code or Prescott City Code or the Arizona Revised Statutes, or my employee is, I can lose a license and I lose my livelihood. I'm really not comfortable with that. And like I say, I've never had a problem at all with a business license for a municipality. This one's a little different for me. And perhaps that is an unforeseen consequence. That's about all I have to say.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments?
Mr. Mayor, council members, my name's Roxanne Nielsen, and my business is Prescott Brewing Company, 130 West Gurley Street. I just want to take an opportunity, this might be a little bit off the subject, but there are liquor licensees in this community that for several years have talked to city council and committees regarding the fact that we are the only industry in this city that pays an annual an annual fee in order to do business. We pay $662 a year in order to be able to run our liquor licensed establishment. It was set up in 1931. We've argued with city council, we've done committee work. We already pay a license fee to do business in this city. We don't need to pay $35 on top of $662 to have our licenses. I have a number 6 license and a number 3 license at Prescott Brewing Company downtown. I have a number 3 license at Prescott Brewing Company out by the airport. Every year I pay liquor license fees in order to do business in this town, along with the state liquor license fees that I already pay. I get nothing for it, really. I get nothing for it. We're the only industry that does that, so I'm absolutely opposed to any other kind of business license. I'd rather pay $35 than $662 for a license. But that's neither here nor there. I just wanted to bring this up because it was an appropriate time to bring it up.
Thank you.
Thank you. You want to comment to that?
She is accurate. If you sell alcohol, there are additional licenses that are required. I mean,
Yes.
Okay, is that a city requirement?
the local alcohol license is required, are done by the city. The state one, of course, the city has no control over what the State Board of Alcohol charges.
Okay. Mayor Patem?
Thank you. I brought this up once before, and I'll bring it up again. I agree with the lady. I mean, alcohol, to my knowledge, is still a legal product in the United States. They not only get charged to sell it by the state, they get charged by us to sell it in our town, along with collecting sales tax. We don't have to charge them to sell alcohol here. We do it because think it was the attorney that told me that we can't.
No, well, no, hold on. It's in the city code, Councilman. I mean, the council has the ability to amend the city code. The liquor license fee that we charge, the local liquor license fee, is in the city code adopted by the city council.
And I find half our codes obnoxious, and they just keep getting worse. So I'm just sharing it with you. It's been on my mind for a long time. And so now what we want to do is come up with a business license that's not enforceable, that, you know what, you can attack a storefront. You got, how many did you say, Greg, last week? 10,000?
Well, there's 10,000 listed on the internet.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And how many we got in the chamber, 800? Guys, this is ridiculous.
I think we could probably, in the time that we're working to develop this procedure, we can also take a look at how we can handle some kind of fairness for those folks, right?
Agreed.
Sure, council can always consider changes to the city code, either this one or the alcohol liquor licensing requirements.
All right. Any other comments from the public? Councilman Jessica?
Thank you. Do the liquor licensees get anything other than anybody else gets for their $600 and some odd dollars?
By state law, fees charged to hospitality type industries like that need to be used to promote those industries. This liquor license fee that has been referred to brings in about $70,000 a year in revenue, which is part of the tourism promotion, the bed tax fund. So those monies aren't put into the general fund to cover general fund costs, they're put in the bed
So
tax fund.
$600 and some odd dollars are put into the bed tax.
Right, to increase tourism and the activities there.
Okay.
Obviously, that doesn't have to be
Thank you.
revenue neutral.
Any other comments from the public?
Tony Meredith, Jersey Lily Sloan, 116 Montezuma. I was listening to Roxanne a couple of mayors ago, a couple of city managers ago. She's right. We're in the same room, and we were promised if we get a business license, $35 ones, we would not charge you $642 for a liquor license. And it was told to us 2 or 3 times in public. There's been letters written to the council over the years to try to reinstate that thinking. And the fact is, correct me if I'm wrong, but the city doesn't have a friggin' desk or a person or a telephone in the city representing the liquor department. The Arizona Liquor Department does everything. They overrode you guys on the liquor application over on Goodman Street years ago, and I've never seen an application for liquor that the city didn't like. I've never seen you turn down a liquor license request ever. And I've been here in that business 15 years. And I can tell you what goes on in here. Every time you're gonna have 3 applications a day, maybe they'll show up, maybe they won't. And you're gonna say it meets the 300-foot distance and it meets the church distance. Is there anybody else against it? Any talk? The sponsor to come up? Well, he's not here today. All right, well, then let's have a vote. And it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 approved. Next, and there's going to be like 3 of them today, and that's exactly the way it's going to work. The state doesn't even charge us $642. We got the SIM tax, and I'm going to bring in very soon the amount of money that the liquor people pay in this town for elevated insurance. It goes on, and I go about for a list that long about what we get charged for being in business. And Greg's going like this because he knows, I know he's close to a situation. It's ridiculous what we're having to pay. We even pay, well, I won't even get into that, sales tax we don't even collect. But it's just a fact that how much can we take? You got more businesses going out of business than the liquor business. There's 3 of them gone out on Whiskey Row in the last 6 months. They can't survive. Whiskey Row used to have 16 bars, it's got 4 now. And 3 of them, I think, will have second jobs. It's not there. You guys just keep throwing this money at us all the time. Tax, 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 tax. You know, I don't care what it is, but I'm gonna pursue it, and I'm gonna be before this board, and I'm gonna bring in you a list of what we have to pay to stay in this business. Most people have an insurance policy for furniture and liability. We got liquor liability for an average business is $10,000, just liquor liability. It goes on and on. I just want to make that clear, and I think that there ought to be some consideration about us getting this license thing fixed up. On the $600, we get nothing. You get nothing. You don't call the liquor department at the city that I am aware of. There's nobody in charge. It's state does it all. I'm sorry. Thank you very much.
Well, Tommy, are you for the business license?
I don't know.
You want to see what happens.
Catch me over at the bar. I'll talk to you.
Tommy, before you go back there, Tommy, before you go back there, please. You were here. I'm almost positive you were, when we did turn one down. We turned one down over in that place that was a flower pot shop there for a while. And all they did was move a wall. And the state liquor board came up here, 2 of them. Big guys, too, huge guys.
These they are.
They came in this room and told us it doesn't mean squat what you as a city council does. We're gonna approve a license or we're not gonna approve a license. All you do is make a recommendation, and we from the state will tell you what you're gonna do. All you're here to do is recommend. We
Well-
don't have to accept your recommendation. You were here.
Well, I don't remember that, but I'm not gonna say you're not right. You throw in all the fundraisers, all the activities, every dress shop, every pie shop, everybody wants a license. Everybody's getting a license. You don't turn them down. If they can't make it selling pies, then they want a license for the back room to have wine tasting. Every time you have an event on the square, there is a temporary license, $25 a day. You know, my license was valued at $80,000 when I bought the Jersey Lily, okay? And it went down to maybe $40, $50 during the downturn, maybe worth $50 now. $25 a day, you can go down and get a temporary license and sell beer and wine. And the other thing that blows me away is you can't serve beer within 300 feet of the school over here, but you can serve beer on the school grounds. Now, does that make sense at all? I don't understand that.
And most of it's in the name of nonprofit.
Well, there's a lot of nonprofits in this town, and it takes away from our industry because there's one every weekend. I'll guarantee you got 3 today and one okay for a fundraiser. And then becomes other problems as far as who's the promoter and how the money's spent. Supposed to be 25% of the liquor sales goes to the nonprofit. I don't know if I do. I don't know of any auditing system. I don't know. Joe Vegas told me there was, but I haven't figured it out yet. But anyway, there's a lot of problems with this charging thing, and somebody needs to settle down and get real. I'm telling you on that.
Okay, we'll be looking into that. Any other comments? Do you have a motion?
Mayor, I move to adopt ordinance number 4973-1513, business license.
Do you have a second?
Second.
Okay, I have a motion, a second vote, please.
Passes 4-3. Councilman Blair, Mayor Pro Tem Lamerson, and Councilman Lozelle dissenting.
Okay, next item, please.
So there were 5 separate motions.
Should we go on with the next motion?
I'm sorry. We've got to go down each motion, don't we?
Mr. Mayor, I move to adopt ordinance number 4977-1515, changes to peddler solicitor code.
Second.
Do you have a second? Motion, second, vote, please.
Passes 4-3. Councilman Blair, Councilman Lozelle, and Mayor Pro Tem Lamerson dissenting.
Next motion, please.
Mayor, I move to adopt ordinance 4978-1516, change to fire safety inspection code.
Second.
You have a motion, second, vote, please.
Passes 4-3. Councilman Blair, Councilman Lozelle, and Mayor Pro Tem Lamerson dissenting.
Next motion.
Mayor, I move to adopt ordinance number 4979-1517, change to transaction privilege license fee.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Got a motion and a second, vote please.
Passes 4-3, Councilman Blair, Councilman Lozelle, and Mayor Pro Tem Emerson dissenting.
Final motion?
Mayor, I move to adopt resolution number 4330-1539, declaring certain documents as public records.
Do I have a second? Got a motion and a second, vote please.
Passes 4-3, Councilman Blair, Councilman Lozelle, and Mayor Pro Tem Emerson dissenting.